My family kicked me out of the house on my 18th birthday 32 years ago, and now they want to be back in my life. Here's a bit of backstory. I'm a twin, and when I was born, my lungs weren't fully developed, so I had to stay in the hospital for an extended period. As a result, I faced several developmental and emotional challenges, including dyslexia and anger issues. While I can't say for certain, I believe these challenges contributed to the way my family treated me. I often felt like a burden to them. Although they weren't abusive, the neglect I experienced was significant. For example, on our birthdays, I would ask for something and my brother would get it instead. One year, I asked for a boombox, not a big one, just a smaller one. They were all the rage in the 80s. Instead, my brother got it. At Christmas, I asked for a remote-controlled car. My brother got one, but I was told due to funds, I had to wait until after the first of the year. It never happened, so I basically got nothing but clothes for Christmas, while my twin got toys. I tried for years to show I was as good as my brother. He was always good at school while I struggled. In 6th grade, I worked hard to get good grades, all BS, which was good for me. But my parents said, "Oh, nice, your brother got all A's." I think it was at this point I realized where I stood. I was just a roommate that they had to take care of, nothing more. So as a kid, I figured that if I couldn't get attention for positive things, I'd do whatever to get in trouble, at least they'd be forced to pay attention to me. Not the brightest idea, but when you're 11 to 12 years old, what do you expect? When I turned 18, shortly after graduating high school, I was met at the door with a bag of clothes. I was told that I had to go, that they had done their job, and I needed to leave. I asked what about my brother. They stated he was going to be somebody as he was going to college, whereas I struggled in school, so clearly, I was going to be a bum. To tell you the truth, I was ready to go anyway. I already knew how they felt, so this didn't even bother me. I grabbed my bag, my mom tried to hug me, but I ignored it and walked out the door, never looking back. It took a while for me to get on my feet. Nowhere to go, no place to sleep, not a penny to my name. But I had some friends to rely on, at least temporarily. Fast forward a few years, and I met my wife while I was working at a gas station. We just clicked. A few years later, we got married. We built a home together, something I never really had growing up. Back in 2005, we had a baby girl and 2 years later, a boy. From my perspective, my life is perfect, family, home, and a great job in IT. That was until yesterday. I received a phone call from my mom, telling me my dad had passed away, and that she and the family hoped I could make it to the funeral. Mind you, I don't know how she got my number, probably from my brother, but I was shocked to say the least. I told her I was busy working, which I was, 12-hour shifts are fun, lol, and would let her know later. She started to say something to the effect that they missed me and would like to be a part of my life or something like that, but I hung up. Kinda rude, I know, maybe even ahish. But from my perspective, I haven't heard a word from these people in 32 years. So why would I give them any more of my time? I told my wife, and although she knows about my family, she thought it would be the right thing to do. Seeing that my mom reached out to tell me where she could have not told me, she believes they are family A and probably feel bad and want to reconnect. My wife has a big family, and they've always treated me like family, so her view of family is different than mine. However, as far as I'm concerned, I already have my family. Those other people are former roommates. I have no obligation to anyone but those who I care about and who care about me, my wife and kids. I get it, my wife loves me and is thinking of me and how I might regret not going. But it just seems like they now know that dad is gone and life is short, so now guilt is creeping in, and they don't want to die with that guilt? Do I go at my wife's suggestion and be miserable being around people that I learned to let go of and not care about to look like a better person? Or do I stay home and continue to live my life, putting my own family first and ignoring those people? I'm asking those who have gone NC, no contact with their family if they let them back in. Was it worth it? Or did it backfire in your face and become something you wouldn't ever do again or suggest to others? Additional info, I live in Florida and they probably all still live in California. So that would be a long trip, and I'm not sure it's worth it. As far as my twin, we don't talk. Not that we hate each other, we just walk different paths in life. I get/send the occasional Christmas card, but that's it. Unless some miracle has happened, my mom is probably still the self-centered person she's always been. She always wanted to be seen as the good person by family and friends. Update. First, thank you everyone for taking the time to read my post and then to comment, share your story, post some kind words, and even the few that were blunt about what I should do. Second, at the suggestion of so many of you, I sat with my wife, and we went through the comments together so she could get a better understanding of where I was coming from. Although some were a little brutal, she understood and apologized for overstepping. I reassured her that her heart was in the right place and nothing to be sorry for. Third, at the suggestion of someone who posted that I contact my brother. I did just that. Update 2. Okay, folks, I hope you are ready for this karma show to unfold. Strap in and hold on. So I called my brother to talk to him. I asked him if he had time to talk and he did. I asked him if he gave my number to his mom, and he mentioned he did. He thought it would be better for me to hear about our dad's death from mom than from him. I asked him why I would want to hear from someone who kicked me out at 18 and whom I never heard from in 32 years. He was shocked. He told me that mom has said that I could stay but had to pay rent, but I told them I would never pay rent and left on my own. As others said in my OP, narcissistic people do and say things to make it about them and make themselves look better. I can't really be surprised at this, to tell you the truth. This is exactly who she was back then and even now. Make me look like the bad apple and her/them as the ones who never do wrong. We had a good talk. Never getting that sibling/twin bond back, but we did agree to try and at least catch up more instead of Christmas cards and birthday messages. Like I said in my OP, he's not a bad guy. We just walked different paths. So then I asked him why mom wants to reconnect and why she wants me at the funeral. You guys were right. Update 3. Turns out that they spent everything they had, their entire lives trying to live like the Joneses. Now that dad is gone, she has nothing to her name. No savings, just a small amount of social security per month and a small portion of my dad's pension. She's living in a small trailer. They heard that I actually became somebody, and she was telling others that she couldn't wait to see me at the funeral. She was hoping I would bring my kids so she could see her grandchildren. She actually told my brother that I would be coming, WTF, and was hoping that we could fix our relationship. I'm guessing so that she could start asking for money, as many of you said she would do, seeing she's dirt poor now. I informed him, after thinking about it, mostly listening to you guys, that I would not be attending, and at no time did I tell his mom I was coming. I feel bad that dad is dead, but I already mourned them years ago. I'm at peace with myself, and her deaths are and will be no different than that of a stranger. I told him, if anyone asks why I'm not there, tell them the truth or lie. At this point in my life, my immediate family is more important than people who've been absent from my life for 32 years. I don't really care what he tells them. As far as his mom, I'll be staying NC and blocking the number she called me from. My wife and I both agree that it's best for me and our family, not only for mental reasons but for financial reasons. I didn't work as hard as I did to get where I'm at to lose it all to her. As some of you suggested, I'm gonna have a small goodbye for my dad on my own time. Again, thanks internet strangers. I never knew so many random people could be so nice and caring. This old guy truly thanks all of you.